May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free from harm. May all beings love life. May all beings awaken. Welcome to another Cuke Audio podcast. I'm DC Puba of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives. I pray that you and yours are safe and comfortable, free from economic hardship, and able to get out and do whatever it is you want within the limitations of the universal precept of do as little harm as possible. So today we've got the second clip from the Shunryu Suzuki lecture given at Los Altos, California on August 26th, 1965. So this became the chapter of the Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, Calmness on page 121, if my memory serves me. I'm only going to play you a clip of the lecture that I edited some. I think that'll do it. And if you want to hear it exactly as it is on tape, you can go to shunryusuzuki.com and write 65-08-26 in the lecture search, keyword search box on the lecture search forum. But this, I took the coughs out, and I took a few extraneous words out. But I left the ums and ahs in, and took a few clicks out and stuff like that. So it's a little better to listen to. The previous clip from this lecture, I played three different versions. The raw version, the minimally edited version, and then the more radically edited version. This one is closer to the third. It's just the way I edit it, to make it easier to listen to. All right. So first I'm going to play it. Then I'm going to read it. And then I'm going to play it again. So here we go.
In Japanese saying, it says, for the moon, there is cloud. For the flower, we have wind. Actually, usually it means the evanescence of life, which we find it very difficult to live in it, evanescence of life. But in evanescence of life, we can find the joy of eternal life. When you see the moon covered by cloud, a part of it covered by cloud, you will find the roundness of the moon. When you see the moon, a clear moon without any cloud or anything, trees or some weed, you do not feel the moon so round as you see through something.
There's a Japanese saying, it says, for the moon, there is cloud. For the flower, we have wind. It means the evanescence of life, which we find very difficult to live in. The evanescence of life. But in the evanescence of life, we can find the joy of eternal life. When you see the moon covered by a cloud, a part of it covered, by a cloud, you will find the roundness of the moon. When you see the moon clear without any clouds or anything, not through some trees or some weed, you do not feel the moon as so round as when you see it through something. All right, so I read it, and then you heard it, and when you heard it, if you know, you might have noticed I sort of edited as I read it. So what he's saying is pretty obvious, huh? If you just look at the moon and there's just the moon, the roundness, and maybe we'd say the qualities of the moon, that's all we see. They're not as obvious. It's not as obvious. The roundness isn't as obvious. And I would say other qualities, the beauty, the shining, whatever, are not as obvious as if there's something covering it a little, like some cloud. Say, think of a cloud floating by, like on the bottom third of it on the right side. There it is. And, or he said, or through some trees, like you're in a field and you look up through the branches of a tree. Maybe it's winter and there's not, it's not completely covered with leaves. Deciduous tree. Or he said, or through a weed, or you're lying in a field with your lover in some tall grass. Maybe you're hiding from the authorities and you feel romance and you look through the grass and there is the moon. Maybe it's a full moon. And its roundness is so beautiful and enhanced by the fact that you're looking through the grass. Well, I think we need to get Mythbusters on this one to really test whether we perceive roundness better if there's something between us and it. Could be. Japanese have a number of sayings like that we hear and we go, ah, yes, how poetic and beautiful. But I think we need Mythbusters to look at them. But even if Mythbusters showed that actually we perceive the roundness just as well when we don't see the moon through something, it's still beautiful, and it's making another point. Now, don't look to me to tell you what that other point is. That's for you to figure out. All right, let's listen to it one more time, and then we'll sign off and see you tomorrow.
In Japanese saying, it says, for the moon, there is cloud. For the flower, we have wind. Actually, usually it means the evanescence of life, which we find it very difficult to live in it, evanescence of life. But in evanescence of life, we can find the joy of eternal life. When you see the moon covered by cloud, a part of it covered by cloud, you will find the roundness of the moon. When you see the moon, a clear moon without any cloud, or anything, trees or some weed, you do not feel the moon so round as you see through something.
This has been a Cuke Audio podcast. I'm DC Puba of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives, coming to you from Sleepy Sanur with Doggy Bandita, Feline Cuchita, and dear lovely Katrinka. And we're wishing you and yours and all of us a grand awakening.